Hi guys, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Can you see that we can see better? It's because it's daytime. It is during the afternoon and I open the window. There's like some shades and you can probably see a little bit of a glare from the window. Hopefully that will not be so bad. Welcome back. I've had so much stuff going on and I meant to finish the book that we've been reading, Ivy and Bean, book 1. Just want to touch on this a little bit. I've been preoccupied with Puerto Rico because my family lives, most of my family, well, they're spread out, the cousins, second cousins and stuff like that. They're spread out, but I still have family that lives in Puerto Rico, and my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and his wife, and so there's still the worry at the beginning that we couldn't get in touch with anybody. And I have been watching this earthquake diligently, pretty much 24/7, because of, you know, the scare of what's next, what's gonna happen next. And it's just been really sad. So sorry I haven't finished the book. I've taken a little bit of time to decompress from that and pray about it and pray for the people in Puerto Rico. And now they're feeling it in Dominican Republic, some tremors also, so pray for them. That's the best thing that you can do, because there's also out there people that are wanting to take advantage of this. So don't send money unless you know it's really going to get to the people, because there's some, you know, crooks out there, unfortunately, that they just want to get the money and they don't ever get to where it's supposed to be, which is the people suffering and living outside, because they lost their home. So on a better note, we're gonna do this story, get my mind off of all the things happening in the world. I got some orange juice. Ooh, it's Simply Made. Do you drink Simply Made orange juice? Guess what? You don't know, but my husband makes this juice. Simply. And he donated blood, so he gave him this cup. But it's so good. Oh my gosh. When it's really cold, I love it really cold. Oh, lots of crushed ice. It's so good. So yes, my husband works for Simply Orange. It's a wonderful company. He's been working for Coca-Cola almost, it's gonna be 30 years. Oh my gosh. Yes, next month will be, can it be 30 years? So he's worked in different divisions, and he's been working at this plant now, making juice instead of the Coke and all the Sprite and everything, for about 5 years, I think. It's awesome. We don't get free stuff. So it's like, okay, a lot of people ask, they always have to ask, do you get free Coke? No, we have to buy it just like everybody else. So now we got that out of the way, go get you some juice. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Anyhow, let's get back to Ivy and Bean. Let's get back to Bean. Bean's backyard. I got cats all over the place. Anyhow, they're peeking. Look. Oh, they're peeking through a yard. And she still got that makeup on. That is so scary. You peeked over. See if Nancy's there. Oh no, my juice. Oh, my glasses. Minnie. Oh gosh. I guess we can't start the book yet. Hang on. Trouble came. Miss Little Troublemaker here. Excuse me. Where do you want to go, baby girl? I put the desk closer to the window, and now she sees that it's open, the blind is open, so she's like, I want to get back there. Wait, Mama, I got so much stuff in here, my notebooks and planners, and there, you can go in the window now. Can you make it? Be careful. What can you do? Anywho, she might be in the yard looking for me. Ivy nodded and stood up. She could just see over the fence. I don't see anyone, she said. Hi, Minnie. Then they were probably out looking for me, said Bean. She pictured her mom and Nancy with the worried faces. I've been gone for a long time. Let's go get the worms, said Ivy, pulling herself over the fence. Oh my gosh, they can jump a fence. Bean's backyard was a big rectangle. There was a nice part with flowers and neat grass. There was a messy part with lumpy grass and a trampoline and a playhouse that Bean had since she was little. Oh, where are you going? She's climbing. She could barely fit inside it anymore. Oh my goodness. They're finding worms, and she just kept walking, and she's on... What do I call this? Where I have all my paintings. It's a shelving unit. She's insane. Look. Oh my gosh. Look at all the worms. Look. Oh, I remember getting worms when we used to take our kids fishing at Daytona, and there was a bridge there. We used to go to the bridge and catch some fish. Sometimes we caught some fish. There was stuff lying all over the messy part. Hula hoops, balls, arrows, shovels, buckets, and a broken stilt. Bean had really hurt herself that time. The worms were in a messy part, over next to the playhouse, where the ground was wet. Ivy and Bean grabbed shovels and a bucket and got to work. At first, there was just a lot of mud. Ugh. Then there was mud and a few worms. But the more they dug, the more worms they found. 6, 10, 13 worms. The worms oozed and curled through the mud. Being like the way that the fat ones they were fat 1 second and stretched out and skinny the next. Oh yeah, because that's when they move. Like, ooh. It's like they're dancing. They're dancing worms. She and Ivy dug deeper and deeper until they had made a big muddy pit in the ground. It was almost 2 feet across, and water dribbled from the sides. Worms were squirming at the bottom of the pit, trying to get away. Bean felt a little sorry for them, but Ivy just picked them up and dumped them into the bucket. Bean thought of Nancy kicking and waggling as she began dumping them into the bucket too. How many do we need? Asked Bean. The worms were piled on top of one another on the bottom of the bucket. Ivy looked. Only 10. But the more worms we have, the harder she'll dance. Oh my gosh. This is enough, said Bean. Poor worms. All right, said Ivy. She looked toward Bean's house. Let's go see if your sister is home. Okay, but we'd better sneak, said Bean. Look at the bottom of the page that put all these worms. The squiggly worms full of mud. They're good for the soil though. And if you have a vegetable garden or even flowers, you put worms in there. Ooh, you got the best stuff. Bean's house was good for sneaking. At the back, there was a porch. If you crawl like a bug across the porch, you could look through a big window in the kitchen. The girls ran towards the bushes that grew next to Bean's porch and dug down, hiding. Quietly, they began to creep up the stairs that led to the porch. Very quietly, they crawled across the floor, and then Bean heard a sound. She froze. There it was again, a sob. It was someone crying, Bean listened. It sounded like Nancy. Bean put her hand on Ivy's arm and pointed to the window. They crawled to it and peered in like spies. She's crying. I wonder why she's crying. Look. Oh, what happened? Look at it. Looks like she's got a tail. And that's the wand. There was Nancy. She was sitting at the kitchen table. She was alone. She was crying. Bean got a funny feeling. Nancy was usually so bossy, so nosy, so sure she was right. It was weird to see her cry, all alone. Maybe she's crying because she thinks you're lost, whispered Ivy. That's kind of nice. Bean didn't answer. She had never thought she could make Nancy cry. Bean felt a lump in her throat. She remembered that Nancy let her snuggle into her bed when she had bad dreams about the spooky man. She remembered that Nancy let her play with her glass animals sometimes, even after she had broken the starfish. Oh, she broke a little part of the leg on the starfish. Oh, let's take it anyway. Oh, it was glass, so it's very dead. She remembered that Nancy had once bought her a fairy coloring book with her own money. Oh, wow. Bean looked at the tears rolling down Nancy's cheeks. Poor Nancy, Bean sniffed. Maybe she didn't want to put the dancing spell on her sister after all. Nancy said something. Bean couldn't hear it, but she was sure it was something about missing her. What? Said Bean's mother's voice from another room. Everybody has them, Nancy shouted. Everybody but me. I'm the only one who has to wait. She began to cry harder. What? Bean pressed her face against the window. Look at the coloring book she got from her sister. That's so nice. What is she crying about? Her mother's voice said, we've talked about this a million times. You can have them when you're 12. Oh, she's not crying about her sister. Even some of stupid Bean's friends have them, yelled Nancy. Suddenly, Bean knew what Nancy was crying about. She's not sad about me at all. She's crying about Pierre's ears. Oh, look at that face. Oh my gosh, she's so angry. She has a fist up and everything. He's been to Ivy. Bean got mad, really mad. She has even madder than she had been when Nancy tried to drag her into the house. Bean was so mad, she forgot all about being sneaky. She stood up and banged on the window with her fist. You're a big turkey, she yelled. Oh, that was Ivy. Oh, Nancy stared, then jumped up. Hey, Mom, Bean's back. Get in here, Bean breathed. She flashed out the back door before Bean could even begin to run. In 2 seconds flat, she had Bean by the arm and was pulling her in the door. Just wait till Mom gets a hold of you, she was saying. You're going to be in so much trouble. Stop, yelled Ivy. She stood in front of Nancy, waving the wand at her face. I command you to free Bean. The spell. Oh my gosh, you think the spell's gonna work? Look. Ooh. She's going with that one. Like, she looked crazy with that makeup on. Nancy stopped dragging Bean across the porch and looked at Ivy. Who are you? She asked. Ivy smiled and slit her eyes like a squinty eye. I don't know. Ivy smiled and slit. What is slit her eyes? Because her eyes are really wet. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, it's like making squinty eyes. I was looking at the other picture of... What's her name? Ivy. No, it's not Ivy. Anyhow, you get it. Look. See those eyes. Ivy smiled and slit her eye. With her white face and red blood drops, she looked very witchy. "It matters not. Free my friend," she hissed. Oh, this one has her eyes wide open. So maybe that's what it means. I'm so sorry. I don't know my English. Wow, thought Bean. She's really going for it. Nancy dropped Bean's arm and lifted one eyebrow, which was something she had just learned how to do and did all the time. What was that supposed to be? She asked in a snippy grown-up way, looking at Ivy's wand. Oh yeah, that's Ivy. Okay, Ivy's the one with the freaky makeup. I forgot. Ivy shook the wand in Nancy's face. "This is your doom," she said in a deep voice. "This is your doom." I can't make a deep voice. "It's a one," said Vin, looking back and forth between Ivy and Nancy. She was beginning to worry. Maybe Ivy was going for it too much. With older sister, you had to be able to say that you never meant what you say. That you were kidding the whole time. Ivy didn't seem to know that. Nancy snorted. "It's a steak," she said. She looked at Ivy's robe and giggled. "Nice bathrobe, too. You guys are complete and total dweebs." Uh-oh, Bean looked at Ivy. Her cheeks were red under the white paint, and her eyes glittered. She looked like she might cry. Suddenly, Bean was furious. Before, she had been really mad. But now Nancy was making fun of Ivy, and that made Bean furious. Oh, look at her face. Scary face. And look at this one with her makeup and squinty eyes. That's, to me, those are squinty eyes. I don't know. Without even stopping to think about it, Bean reached down into the bucket she was still carrying. She got a big handful of pink worms. For a second, they squiggled in her hand, and then she threw them at Nancy's face. Oh my gosh, I would throw up. Some of them fell onto Nancy's shirt. Some of them got stuck in her hair, but one landed on her eyebrow and wiggled there, trying to find some dirt. Nancy was so surprised she froze. She just stood with her mouth hanging open, staring at Bean. Calmly, Bean reached into the bucket again and got another handful of worms. She ain't better this time. She got one in Nancy's mouth. Oh! Boo! The pink worm went flying as Nancy spit it out. There was a tiny moment of quiet, and then she opened her mouth wide and let out a giant scream. Bean and Ivy looked at each other and smiled. "Whatever happens next," their eyes said, "that was worth it." And then they began to run. Look, oh, she's got worms in her face, in her eyebrows, her cheeks. She looks really sad. I wouldn't open my mouth though. Ew, she got one in her mouth. Nancy tore after them, still screaming. Bean zigzagged across the lawn because she knew it was harder to catch someone who was zigzagging. Ivy zigzagged too, right behind Bean. "Worms, worms!" Nancy was screaming. She had lost her mind. Ah! Bean could hear her mother calling, "What on earth? Girls, girls!" Bean and Ivy ran around the trampoline with Nancy's clothes behind. They jumped over the hula hoops and stilled and headed for the trees. Nancy followed, still screaming. She was right behind them. She was so close. She could almost grab the soft folds of Ivy's robe. She was just about to get it. "Help!" squealed Ivy. Bean gave a yank and pulled the robe away in the nick of time. Ivy and Bean swerved for the playhouse. Maybe they could get inside it before Nancy tackled them. "Come on!" Bean yelled. Together they jumped over the worm pit, squeezed into the playhouse, and slammed the door. "Phew!" they said together. Then it happened. Nancy was still chasing them. She was running toward the playhouse and toward the worm pit, the big muddy worm pit. Bean and Ivy knew it was there. But Nancy didn't, and she didn't see it. Oh! I don't know how they got in there, but they could hardly move. They got into the little playhouse. They're just sitting right across each other. Oh my goodness. She charged toward the playhouse and whoops, her foot landed on the side of the muddy pit. Ivy and Bean looked out the playhouse window and they saw Nancy skidding on the slimy edge of the hole. Ah! Oh no. Oh, I think she's gonna go flat on her butt on the muddy puddle. Back and forth she wobbled, trying to keep her balance. She kicked out one foot, she waved her arms wildly. She kicked out her other foot, she waved, she kicked. It was perfect. She's dancing, yelled Bean. The spell worked, yelled Ivy. And just at that moment, with a sloppy, globby thud, Nancy slipped off the edge and landed in the muddy goo at the bottom of the worm pit. Oh, gross. Look at that. They're looking from their playhouse. There's a tiny window. Oh my gosh. I would be so disgusted. Okay. No dessert. No, they're grounded. No dessert, said Bean. No videos for a week. But at least they didn't make me stay in my room. Ivy was sitting next to Bean on her front porch. It was almost dark. They watched the bugs flying around the streetlight. I don't think they're really mad, said Ivy. You don't? They seem pretty mad to Bean. They have to act mad so they'll seem fair to your sister, Ivy said. Oh my gosh, the way she looks. I gotta show you this picture. She's got mud on her hair, her shirt. She just fell flat, I think, on her back. Ugh, gross. She's covered in mud. I would just hose her down in the backyard. But your mom has this little tiny smile on her face when she pulled Nancy out of the pit. She thought it was funny. Bean smiled too, remembering. It was funny. It was great. Nancy says she's never going to speak to either of us ever again. And she took back the coloring book she gave me. Oh no. Well, she never spoke to me before today, so that won't be any different for me. Oh, hang on. Hello. Sorry about that. As I was telling the story, I saw that my husband was calling me, but then he didn't answer. So I'll call him right back when I'm done. Sorry about that. Let's get back to the book, because I think we're almost, yeah, we're not far from ending. Do we need more lighting? All right, where were we now? Okay, when she said, Nancy says she's never going to speak to either of us ever again. And she took back the coloring book she gave me. Well, she never spoke to me before today, so that won't be any different for me. It'll be better for me, but I bet she doesn't stick to it. Bean yawned. It had been a big day. She turned to Ivy. Do you think the spell is what made her dance? Of course. Ivy sounded very sure. But after a minute, she said, I didn't have time to say the spell, really. I just sort of thought it as a last second. Oh. She was, I think, just trying not to fall in the muddy puddle. And she did anyway. Refreshing. Being stared into the shadowy yard. Maybe that's why she didn't dance for very long. Because you only thought this spell instead of saying it. Next time I'll say it. You're going to do it again? On who? Bean asked. I was thinking about Miss Trance, said Ivy. Bean pictured Miss Trance kicking up her feet on the edge of a muddy pit. It would be a beautiful sight. No, it won't. Can you teach me to burp like that? Asked Bean. Sure, Ivy said. Maybe I'll try something new on Miss Trance, like a storm of grasshoppers. No. No, no, no. Unless you want to get expelled. Oh, jeez. Is that a hard one? No. But we have to start with a lot of grasshoppers, said Ivy. Oh, jeez. It seems like the spells have bugs in them, said Bean. Is this crooked? It looks crooked. Not all of them, said Ivy. Potions don't. Potions? That sounded fun. Let's make a potion, Bean said. Okay, Ivy said. Tomorrow we'll make potions. I know what, said Bean. Tomorrow let's fix up a lab in your room. Then we can make potions. She pictured a lab with shelves full of little bottles. She and Ivy would wear goggles. Ivy sat up straighter. Yeah, that would be good. We'll dump the dressing room and get some shelves. Shelves with little bottles and maybe a counter. Bean's mother came out onto the front porch. There you are. It's almost bath time. Ivy, do you want me to walk you home? Okay, said Ivy. But Bean's mom sat down beside Bean and looked at the nighttime sky. You girls have certainly had a big day, haven't you? Bean leaned against her mother's arm. Aw, tomorrow we're going to make a lab in Ivy's room. You are you? Said Bean's mom. What for? Potions, said Ivy. What kind of potions? Asked Bean's mom. Secret potions, said Ivy. Oh my goodness, look at all the bottles they're imagining to have. There was silence. Then Bean's mom said, no matches, no poison, no explosions, no deadly fumes, no bugging Nancy. Is that clear? Ivy and Bean looked at each other and rolled their eyes. Weren't you the one who always telling me to play with her? Said Bean. Wasn't this all your idea in the first place? Bean's mother smiled at them in the dark. The light on Ivy's porch came on, and Ivy's mom stepped out the door. She waved across the street. Time to come in, honey. Down the stairs and across the circle, she came in the moonlight. Ivy stood up. So did Bean. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And the day after that, Bean added in her mind. Ivy, holding her mother's hand in the middle of the street, turned around to look at Bean. And the day after that, she said, let me show you. Her hair, poor hair. Who cut her hair? It's like goes up in the back. It's really, really short. There goes her friend. That's it? That's it? Why can't they say the end? So I know. Okay. And the day after that. So they say goodbye. They're going to play and be friends. It's just take me off guard when they don't put the end. They have a sneak preview of book 2. Would you like me to read that or wait to see what that's about? Book 2 says, and the ghost that had to go. How come this one didn't say anything? Just said book 1. Did it say something and I missed it? No, it just says book 1. Anywho, there's a preview of book 2. Says Ivy and Bean and the ghost that had to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wham! Bean crashed into the grass. Ouch, said Ivy, peeking through a hole in her sandwich. Doesn't that hurt? No, I'm just dizzy, said Bean. She sat up and the playground began to tilt. Ah! She lay down again. Now Emma stood up. She lifted her hands above her head, took a big breath, and began. She did 9 good cartwheels before she fell on her head. Are you all right? Ivy asked Emma with her mouth full of peanut butter. Sort of, said Emma. I'm going to leave it right there because it keeps going. This is not a preview. This is like half of the book. Okay. Because my back can't take it, really. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this book. I'm sorry it took me long to finish it, but I'm just glad that people are okay in Puerto Rico. Only one person has perished, and I'm really, really sad about that. But considering how the island looks, it's a miracle. So if you can, say a prayer for everybody affected. And thank you for waiting, and thank you for listening. And I'll see you on book 2 as soon as I can. And be good. Just be good always. Always, you gotta be good. Because if not, you get in trouble. And then you get grounded. And then you're full of worms and you fall in a muddy puddle, and that's not nice. And it's yucky. Alright, so I'm out. I'll see you later. Bye.